Welcome aboard. You've just stepped into Damn It, Jim, the podcast. My name is Dana Smith, and I'm happy to be your captain and navigator on this adventure. And with me, as always, the chancellor of Damn It, Jim University, teaching 5 beer classes a day, Dan Calzaretta. Good evening, Dan.
Dana, I'm wearing shoes and socks. And chancellors apparently in the future don't have to wear either.
Yeah, do you like drape yourself over every piece of furniture as well? So.
I'm going to start. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll impress the students. So.
Yeah. I mean, is it just me, Dana, or is it weird?
It's weird.
Okay.
This is the 5th episode, Dan. We
It
are
is.
halfway through the first season.
Wow, that's great, actually. Any pros? Were there any pros for you in this episode?
Yeah, they found a way to put humor in here.
Okay.
And that's the best thing I can say. So, what about pros for you, Dan?
Well, it was focused only on one character. I mean, maybe not the character I would have chosen, but only one character, which meant that we didn't get a whole bunch of side garbage. We just got the main garbage. But, it was probably a step in the right direction. Do you have any other pros?
No.
No? Okay. I mean, I have one. And that is that it brought Deep Space Nine into this episode, and I really like Deep Space Nine. How about some cons for you? I mean, let's keep the list short. Give us one or two. But what do you think?
Yeah, I'm all for the retro bringing back Deep Space Nine thing. I did like that. I just think there was a bazillion ways they could have done it better.
Yeah.
So, okay, cons.
Yeah, the cons.
Okay, this is aimed at children, Dan. It's a feel-good show about being you and growing up strong and finding your path. It's more about Barney than it is about Star Trek.
Wow. I used to hate Barney, but now Barney looks pretty good.
We should review Barney. So the hologram Sam makes no sense to me, and building a show around her with an axe basically over her head if she fails to do her job just didn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
It seemed trite and exceptionally simple. And just to be clear, this is not about the actor playing Sam.
No.
I think she's doing as much as she can with this character, and probably more than what a lot of people can do. It's the way they're developing her character that is aimed at children.
Yeah.
That's the only logical thing I can think. And I do mean children, Dan. Children less than 8 years old, like little tots, maybe less than 6. Okay.
Yeah. I don't understand that approach either. This character's been that way since the beginning, and I know she's only like, what, a couple months old or something, but still, you would program this character to act her age and not an 8-year-old, like you were saying.
Yeah. And finally, my last con
Yeah.
that I'm going to go into is Aki is starting to annoy me now. She's just too flippant and at times just goofy for the sake of being goofy.
Yeah.
So, do you have any cons, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, a lot, but I'm just going to focus on two. One is this continuing academy versus the war college storyline. I mentioned it earlier. They need to stop that nonsense. And the teenage romance stuff, it's just so poorly written. I think I mentioned this a few weeks ago. It's written by someone who thinks they understand what current teenagers are like, but don't really have any understanding. It's this very hackneyed kind of approach, Dana. So those are my cons. Is there anything other than, never having to watch this series again, is there anything that you hope for, Dana?
I've given up hope. The writers don't know who they are aiming this show at.
Yeah.
We've got adult themes. We've got children's stuff going on. We've got people puking glitter at the camera. You know, it's just definitely not aimed at longtime Star Trek fans, which you and I are part of that group.
Yeah.
And this is just futuristic, simple teenage melodrama to lure in younger viewers. That it's the only thing I can think of. And if there's any hope, it's that the writers and producers understand that the original Star Trek attracted viewers young and old because it didn't play to just one specific group. It didn't constantly try to be silly or just try to get laughs or show, the fleeting romances
Right.
and stuff. It appealed to a wide base, and that's why the original show lasted. It has gone on in reruns and existed for so long. What about you, Dan? What do you hope for?
Well, I kind of hope, Dana, that the I still have some hope for this show. I hope the writing can be better. In parts of the show, I think there was some of the best writing that I've seen in the series so far. But part of that might be because of my like of Deep Space Nine, and I totally acknowledge that that could be the case. If someone's never seen Deep Space Nine or didn't like Deep Space Nine, this would not mean anything to them. This has nothing to do with, as you said, the actors in the show. I think they've all, like, probably done a pretty good job. Although the Worf imitation probably needs to somehow stop. I don't know how you do it at this point. But there were some good jokes. There was the one where, I know you didn't mention this, but there's an announcement that they're going to take a, a trip out to the redwoods the next morning,
Yeah.
and they say something about, so get ready for your morning wood. I mean, that was right up our alley, Dana. That
Yeah,
if
yeah,
they just had a whole show with jokes like that, we would, I think, love the show. So
yeah.
I'm hoping, where there have been some glimmers of good writing, I'm hoping we get more of that, Dana. What about final thoughts? Do you have any final thoughts, Dana?
What about what we worry about?
Oh, well, we could do that first. What what do you worry about, Dana?
Dan, I worry this show's never gonna improve. It's never gonna be Star Trek. And everybody's gonna go, "Oh, it is Star Trek, it is." Show me how. Just because it's in the future? I've seen no space exploration.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a feel-good, young kid sci-fi show that doesn't have anything to do with space exploration. It's about growing up and becoming young men and women who are the future of the Federation, which I'm telling you, 32nd century's in deep shit, yeah, if this is the future of the Federation. So, that's what I worry about, Dan.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I worry, as I said earlier, what I hope for is that the writing's going to get better. I worry that the writing's not going to get better, Dana. I worry that they've gone down or established this kind of path already of silly teenage romance, all that kind of stuff. I worry that that's not going to get any better. I mean, one of the things that I think they're trying to do, and I honor them for this, I think this is a good idea, is to celebrate the diversity that Star Trek's always been about. We talked about this last week. There are some people online that hate the idea of having characters like we're seeing now. And they don't hate it because the writing is horrible. They hate
Yeah.
it because the characters are different, or they put women in roles of power, or that we have LGBTQ characters, or we have characters that, are expressing some different point of view than whatever their worldview, very limited worldview is. But you can't just build a show and want people to believe that's where you're going unless you really go there, and they haven't yet. So that's what worries me, Dana.
Excellent point. So, Dan, why don't you share your final thoughts with us?
Yeah, so I thought there were some glimmers here. We had I thought some pretty good writing in parts. I thought there was some good humor. I thought the dinner scene, for the most part, between the doctor and Ake and Tignataro and whoever the War Academy guy is, I thought there was some funny stuff in there. That was pretty good. I I think the series needs to stay away from those other things that I've talked about and that you've talked about, the trivial teen stories. Ake needs to put some shoes on. I'm gonna be a stickler about that, I guess, Dana. If that's in the drinking game, I'm gonna be drunk in the first 10 minutes of any episode. And then this rivalry between the cool kids and, the underdogs, that needs to go away too. It's just ridiculous. Now, I'm a huge Deep Space Nine fan. This resonated with me, but you could have stripped away all the rest of it and built a crossover episode between Starfleet Academy and Deep Space Nine, with all the silliness taken out that we've already talked about. This could have been a pretty cool episode, right? And it could have launched us maybe into some interesting stories. I thought that the dialogue by Avery Brooks at the end, who played Cisco, was really good. I don't think that was ever in an episode of Deep Space Nine. It was recorded but never included. So that was kind of
Hmm.
cool.
Yeah.
And my understanding is he approved that to be used. So that was, that was great. I do like that. But without any of that stuff, this episode would have been even more unwatchable than it was. That kept me interested, you know. But there are only so many of these types of episodes you can do, right?
Yeah.
If their hope is, oh, we're going to get the old Star Trek fans in by including these little crossover kind of things, you can't do that too often or it just becomes boring. And you can't do it wrapped around, you know, it's like a sandwich, Dana, where the bread is really good and then the inside is crap. You start to bite through the bread, yeah, it's pretty good. And then you get to the crap and you're like, whoa, this really sucks. You're not going to get away with that for very long. So they've got to make some changes. Now, obviously, season one's done, right? It's all ready to go.
Okay.
We're going to see it. Season two has already been shot. So it's been written, it's been shot, they're editing it. I don't know, Dana. I mean, I'm not sure what's going to happen next. How about you? What are your final thoughts?
I'm laughing, but I'm sad, Dan.
Yeah.
The first 2 episodes showed, some promise. Now we're seriously watching The Summer I Turned Pretty in space or Outer Banks in space.
I don't even know
Eh,
either of those things.
they're current teen shows. I
Oh,
I had to look I had to look them up.
oh my God. You did some research, Dana.
Yeah. These shows are all aimed at young adults, and those shows are good at what they do because they focus on their audience, which is young adults.
Hmm.
But here we have a show that tries to appeal to the very young. I say very, very young and the middle aged. But I don't see how anyone over the age of 15 is going to appreciate this show. I feel like my loyalty to the Star Trek world is being assaulted, Dan. So now I'm just an angry old guy. I don't fit in that group, the 6 to 15-year-olds, and I'm feeling kinda left out. And if this is the direction that they think Star Trek should go, then I guess, we're gonna be reviewing Babylon 5 or something because I can't continue at this for very long. It's painful, and, you know, I just want something that is fresh and exciting, that feels like it's, part of the Star Trek world.
Yeah.
And right now, I don't feel like this is part of Star Trek.
All right, Dana. Well, hopefully, we can make it through the next 5 episodes. It is 5 more hours approximately of our lives, plus the talking about it. So we're talking close to 10 and a half to 11 hours, 12 hours. Who knows how much longer, Dana, we have to deal with it. But, I'm game to keep going.
Okay. Well, if you are, I'll suffer through with you.
Okay.
So,
It was still fun, talking about it.
yeah, in a terrible kind of way it was. Yeah. So No, I always enjoy getting together and talking with you about Star Trek episodes, shows that they're trying to mangle. And like we've said in the past, when they're bad, we're even better. So I look forward to meeting with you again next week, Dan, as we continue on this pace. For all those people that wrote in, we didn't get to any comments today. Please keep them coming, and we accept good comments and bad. So let us know what you think. And Dan, if somebody wants to call and leave a message, what's that phone number?
It's 509-676-6298.
Okay. Well, thanks again for everybody who listens and watches. Until we meet again, live long and prosper.
Thanks once again for listening to Damn It Jim, the podcast. We'd love to hear from you. Please send us an email at dammitjimpodcast@gmail.com or join the discussion on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. You can also reach us at the Damn It Jim hotline at 509-676-6298. This podcast was produced by Dan Calzaretta and Dana Smith for Ramble Jar Productions. Editing by Dan Calzaretta. If you would like to be a Damn It Jim sponsor, please send us an email at dammitjimpodcast@gmail.com. Have a great rest of your week, and remember to live long and prosper.